Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 11 of the evil mother-in-law saga. Of course, this is part 11, so that means if you've not seen the other part, you need to go start from part 1. It's imperative that you actually start from part 1. Very. So let's continue.
Part 11 of the Mother Gothel series. This was exactly what happened last spring into summer. By late spring, we made a decision. We decided to get her a puppy. Colton and I talked about it. We genuinely believed we were helping her. I also helped her get set up with a therapist. We were trying to give her stability in every way we could. Well, Colton and I are very different. We're both fixers. We saw someone who needed help. She saw a photo of a puppy on my Facebook because I follow the breeder. She FaceTimed the breeder and saw the puppy. She fell in love instantly. We paid for her. The dog, the delivery, the invisible fence, the vet care. She was supposed to be paying us back a little bit every month. We thought that a puppy would give her something that was hers, something stable, something independent of Max. But it went exactly the way you think it did. My daughter is obsessed with dogs. It's why I finally caved and got my dog Everest 3 years ago. She and Penny bonded over dogs. It was something they genuinely shared. So when Sierra, the puppy, was coming, my daughter was thrilled. We even found out later that Everest and Sierra are half-sisters. But something immediately shifted. Penny became territorial. She wouldn't let my daughter hold Sierra. Penny would say, "She's mine," over and over. It was very possessive. She didn't want anyone else bonding with Sierra. My daughter's feelings were hurt, and that's when my irritation started turning to anger, because I can tolerate a lot, but not when it comes to my kids. There were various arguments and fights, and I have no problem dropping screenshots if you guys want to see them. But Sierra became my responsibility. Penny wanted the comfort of a puppy. She wanted a puppy to sleep next to her. The puppy needed stimulation. Those are not the same thing. Sierra is a Pomsky, half Pomeranian, half Husky. High energy, high intelligence, high stimulation needs. And before you guys even say it, that was definitely my mistake. Everest is also a Pomsky. At her age, Penny could not handle that kind of dog. So instead of exercise, Sierra was locked in the basement. She would have accidents in my house because Penny wouldn't get up to take her out. Penny would nap all day. Sierra would whine and bark, then tear apart anything she could. She chewed through my kids' nugget couch. She destroyed part of a wall in the basement. She tore things up because she was bored and understimulated. That's what happens when a high-energy puppy doesn't get engagement. And because she was isolated downstairs, Sierra became skittish. She barked at us and the kids constantly. It took weeks for her to settle, and that wasn't Sierra's fault. One day I went to get her downstairs. I couldn't ignore it anymore. And as soon as I did, Penny got up. She didn't want us spending time with her alone. So I started trying to train her. I watched videos, used treats, worked on basic commands, structure, routine. I had done it with Everest. A high-energy puppy without structure becomes chaos. Now, Penny has had dogs her entire life, but they were never trained. They were more free-roaming, do-their-own-thing dogs. That works for some.
You see, people like that don't have the strength, time, and integrity to train a dog should never ever be in possession of a dog, should own a dog. Really, that's the way I see it. Because those are the kind of people that guys.
People, it doesn't work for a Pomsky puppy in a structured household. And at that point, Sierra was already tearing apart my house. But every time I tried to work with her, Penny would interrupt. She'd pet her, she'd call her away, distract her, constantly undoing everything I was trying to do. So the destruction continued. I wasn't just managing my own life anymore, I was managing hers too. And if you're living in someone else's home, rent-free or not, you pick up after yourself. And when I finally said something, it turned into a fight. And anytime I tried to address it, I was vilified. Again, I asked her to pick up dirty dishes. Suddenly, I was bitchy. I'd ask her not to leave cigarette-smelling robes draped around the house. Now I had mood swings. No, I didn't have mood swings. I was irritated. There's a difference. And here's the part that no one hears, but you know. If my husband leaves socks on the floor, I tell him to pick them up. If my kids leave their stuff out, I tell them to pick it up. That's not me being mean. That's how I keep my home and my mind at peace. But with her, a basic request turned into huge arguments. By this point, I was getting angrier every day, tired of being painted as unstable, for asking for basic respect in my own home. Colton saw it too, the constant sleeping, the mess, and her still running back to Max, even while she kept telling us how badly he treated her. We talked about everything and about what we were going to do about it. And from the beginning, we made one thing very clear. Sierra would not be around Nico or Kilo. Neither of them are trained. Kilo, Kieran's dog, has a history of aggression. He has injured several people. And Nico is the 150-pound Rottweiler that was Max's, but also hers. Neither of those dogs were vaccinated. You can't have unvaccinated dogs around puppies. Sierra was a 10-pound, tiny, skittish puppy. That wasn't happening. That boundary was for Sierra's safety. I helped her get that dog, so I am responsible for her. Well, she didn't like that. By this point, everything started piling up. The house, the mess, the dog, the tension. I was tired, emotionally, physically, financially. We were angry about being taken for granted. She hasn't even uttered a thank you this whole time. So we're in May now. She has lived with us since February. She would take Sierra out in the morning because Sierra would whine, and she would stand there and smoke. And Sierra would bark and bark and bark while my kids were asleep. She was also constantly over at Max's while I was home taking care of Sierra. She was helping him clean, pack, paint, getting his house ready to sell, but she couldn't do anything in my house. She would text me that she was exhausted, that she wanted to come home, but she couldn't even pick up after herself here. Couldn't take care of the dog that was supposed to be hers. She was at his house more than she was at mine. She'd tell me that his drug habit was getting worse, that he had no money, that he was mean to her, but she wouldn't detach from him. None of it made sense. One morning, I left to take my son to his parade. She had been sleeping all morning. As I was leaving, my daughter saw Sierra in the neighbor's yard, so I turned around. Penny had let Sierra escape, and this was not the first time. We live near a highway. I was furious. The puppy could have been killed. And I'll be honest, I was not nice in that moment. I was pissed. I told her this couldn't keep happening. She needed to pay attention. It was unacceptable. We left. A little bit later, she sent a long text, and in it she wrote, "I don't have to take this treatment from my son's wife." My son's wife. Not my name, not the woman who took her in, just my son's wife. And that told me everything I needed to know. Again, speaking down to me. She denied owing us money during this fight. She said she was leaving. She was taking Sierra to Max's. She said she helps me. She said she treats me well. The vacuum is too heavy, she'd say. So I reminded her that's why I left the vacuum downstairs, so she wouldn't have to carry it. She walked past it every day. She said Sierra was only attached to her. I said no, she's attached to me too, and sent a kissy face. And then it shifted. "I'm sorry, I'm sick." There it was, the pivot, away from accountability to illness. I told her again, I don't need help cleaning my house, I just need you to pick up after yourself. Colton was furious. The fight that followed went on for over an hour. I called Colton. I was so angry I stopped texting and let him take over. When we got home from the parade later, after talking to Colton, she apologized. But I had seen it before. The apology wasn't really the issue. She'd say, "I'm sorry," but nothing ever changed. So I told myself, she's overwhelmed, she's not feeling well, she's in a bad situation, she's trying to adapt to living with someone else. If I had kicked her out, she would have had nowhere to go. Max was selling the house. By the time June came, the cracks weren't cracks anymore. It wasn't tension, it wasn't frustration, it was over. I hit my limit when she went behind my back and tried to come between me and my husband. Everything reached a breaking point on June 6th, and what happened that day is the reason she's no longer in my house.
I'm so happy to find out that the woman is no longer in her house. Long time coming, finally. But she's done a lot of damage already. But at least, now they can live in peace. Guys, I'll see you in the next part. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.